Executive Director of Recruitment and Admissions, and our colleague Ann Conlon, who's running the slides behind the scenes. Again, thanks so much for joining us today. And actually, I would love to ask, as we get going, if you could put your name, where you're calling in from, and the program that you're interested in the chat at the bottom of the screen. I'm sure everyone is a pro at Zoom at this point, so we don't have to explain where the chat box is anymore. But if you could go ahead and just let us know, again, name, where you're calling in from, and the program you're interested in, that would be great to see as we get going with this presentation. So again, my name is Suri Deitch. Welcome to this session. This is a great opportunity to learn about the School of Professional Advancement, our graduate and post-baccalaureate programs, and our admissions process. And so we're going to give you an overview of the school and sort of how we work, what we think is important about it, and we'll also have time for questions. And thanks to those who've already put their information in the chat. It's really helpful to know who's here. So on the next slide, just give you a little bit of background on Tulane SoPA and the work we do within Tulane. So our school educates working adults mostly and offers mostly applied programs that are directly relevant to what's happening in the field and that prepare you for advancing in your career, for changing your career, whatever you might be looking for. Applied learning, as we call it, which means relevant learning, has a really long history at Tulane. So Tulane was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana, specifically to fight tropical disease in this region. And it was founded as a medical school, then the law school was opened, and the third school that was started at Tulane was our predecessor. And so we have a really long history of educating working adults and supporting people who are at different stages of learning and in their lives, whatever their other obligations might be. And today, SoPA, as that's our name now, it hasn't always been our name, does it in a 21st century fashion that maximizes the use and value of technology while staying grounded in Tulane and New Orleans and the great things that being a member of this community has to offer. So it's early 2023, right? It's a new year. It's a great time to be thinking about yourself and how you want to develop, thinking about going back to school. And so I congratulate you on taking that step and welcome you to SoPA. So these are the areas that we're going to cover today. I guess what I would say just to start is that in considering Tulane SoPA, you have an opportunity to join a community of learners that is geared toward whatever is the most current practice in the field of study that you want to focus on, that is where the classes are small and the faculty are bringing their knowledge in from the field and also deeply focused on you and your learning and your development as a professional. And where you have an opportunity to become part of the Tulane community for the rest of your career, the rest of your life. And that is a wonderful thing. As someone who spent most of my career in higher education, it's really striking how connected people feel to being members of the Tulane community and how powerful not just the brand, right? That word, you know, the prestige and the the fact that it is a, people know what Tulane is as a prestigious institution of higher learning, but that there's a connection and a loyalty to being a part of this community. And whatever the program is that you're thinking of, whether it's a master's degree or a certificate program, in thinking about the program, you are also, you have an opportunity to become part of this community. And that's a really great thing. And so we welcome you to learning more about it. I'm going to talk about online instruction, which is a big focus at SoPA, and then cover some other areas before turning things over to my colleague, Sheila. So at SoPA, most of our instruction is online. The classes that are on ground on campus is in New Orleans, still have our technology supported. And, post-pandemic, all of higher education in the United States and really worldwide moved online in March 2020. And there are effective ways to do it, and there are ways that are not so effective. And we feel really good about the way that we teach online, how our students interact with one another, the technology that we use to support the learning. Again, our small class sizes, the ways in which every single week there is interactive work to do among students, right? You have a lot of interaction with your peer students. You have a lot of interaction with your faculty member. And it is an opportunity to learn and also to develop connections with others in your field, connections that will serve you well through the rest of your career. These are a few descriptions of the ways in which we teach online, the scenarios we bring in from the field, again, the high degree of interaction, and the ways in which we personalize the learning experience, which is lingo for saying we meet you where you're at as a student, and we work with you to figure out how to achieve your goals educationally and professionally. The next slide just gives a couple examples of ways that we do online learning. So very likely you'll have a course with a podcast that could be a 10-minute lecture that you can literally listen to anywhere, and is highly portable. But we also have, as it says here, a metaverse where there is real-time interaction going on, and you can pick an avatar and play through a scenario as an example. So that's online learning at SoPA. Next, just a little bit about our faculty. So we have a combination of full-time faculty, professors of practice who are completely devoted to teaching and mentoring students in their daily work. Most of them come from industry. The two people on the right side of the screen are great examples of that. So Ralph Russo is the director of our information technology and cybersecurity programs, and Tyra Mitchell teaches in our kinesiology program. So that's health and wellness and sports studies at the graduate level. And about 40 full-time faculty are filled out and supported by another 150 or so adjunct faculty. So Ashley Hand and Derek Bowes are great examples of those folks. They are working in the field every single day, and they teach in our school because they love teaching our particular student population, which is, diverse and has interesting backgrounds and interesting perspectives. They love being able to share their experiences, their knowledge, and their connections and networks with students. So again, full-time faculty who spend all of their time working with and supporting students and teaching, and then part-time faculty who teach 1 or 2 classes a semester, all of whom are equally devoted to working with students and to helping you advance in your careers. The next slide gives another couple examples of our faculty. So Amanda Fennell, who teaches in our cybersecurity and IT programs. We actually have a very strong emphasis on women in IT and a very strong mentoring program for women in information technology. And then Tamar Gregorian, who manages our digital media and marketing communications program, which has a post-baccalaureate certificate. So another 2 examples of faculty members. Next slide. This is a list of all of our different master's degrees. There are webinars where you can learn more about these individual programs. You can meet with faculty and advisors and learn more about the curriculum and the specific career opportunities and connections that are associated with those programs. But we offer 4 different master's degrees depending on the area of study. So a Master of Science, a Master of Professional Studies, the Master of Liberal Arts, which is our one program that is focused on the arts and humanities, geared toward working adults, but not directly connected to an industry, but connected to helping you to develop as a thinker and a writer, and in many cases to be able to do original research, which is what many of our students do. And then the Master of Public Administration, which is part of the John Lewis Program in Public Administration, named after United States Congressman John Lewis this past fall. So those are the master's degrees. The next page has a long list of all of our certificate programs. So I think one of the key things about the graduate certificate programs to know is that each of them is 4 courses, with one exception. All of the courses in the certificate program can be applied toward a master's degree. And the admission standards and process for the graduate certificates are the same as the admission standards and process for joining a master's degree. And so if you're in a master's degree, if you do the coursework for a certificate, you'll be awarded both. If you come in for a certificate program and you decide that you want to continue on, you can do that seamlessly, just by seamlessly transferring, which is something we do behind the scenes, into the master's degree. I said there's one exception to the certificate programs being 4 courses, and that is cyber technology fundamentals, which is for people who don't have a background in IT or computer science, but want to move into the field or want to build a base of knowledge. Many of the people who take the cyber technology certificate, which is 6 courses instead of 4, end up moving on to study information technology or cybersecurity as part of the master's degree. So those are the graduate certificates. And then finally, these are our post-baccalaureate certificates. And so I know there are a couple people on who are looking at paralegal. As an example, our American Bar Association accredited program. These are areas of study where we are offering courses for people who have earned a bachelor's degree already, but who want a body of knowledge that will help them develop professionally in graphic design, interactive design, paralegal studies, or we have a few certificates in pre-K-12 education. I'll just note that we expect this coming fall to be offering a Master of Arts in Teaching and a master's degree in education for people who are focused on pre-K-12 learning, or on a field like online instruction or learning design at the higher education or in a corporate setting. So those are 2 new master's degrees that are waiting with our accreditor for approval in the next couple months. So we don't have them in the slideshow yet. All right, so those are a lot of different programs. I'll wind up the conversation about our academic programs by saying that one of the ways in which we accommodate people who come with extensive professional backgrounds or backgrounds as volunteers or having gotten training in the National Guard, for example, or through an association like the National League of Cities. We offer ways for people to turn their prior experience and their prior training into credit toward a master's degree. You can actually get up to 6 credits or 2 courses toward a master's degree that could be 10 or 11 or 12 classes. So that's significant. And we have many partnerships in place with organizations to award credit toward the master's degree. But we also have a process called portfolio assessment, where our faculty work with you to document your previous experience, to match it up to our coursework. And then it's called a portfolio. And then the faculty will actually evaluate your portfolio and give you a grade. And again, you can get up to 6 credits or 2 courses toward the master's degree. All right. Finally, I want to talk about what we call student support and success, which is basically advising. We have a dedicated career advisor for the school who specializes in working with adult students who might be thinking about how to translate a background in, hospitality into a new field, or who are coming out of the military and need to sort of think about how they present themselves and their transferable skills. We do seminars, we do workshops, but we also do one-on-one assistance. So you can actually get help with your resume or your LinkedIn profile. That's career support. But we also offer dedicated academic advisors. So every single student has an academic advisor who is highly experienced in helping students figure out how many courses to take, what to take next, how much to take at one time, right? So graduate students are typically taking 2 classes at a time, sometimes 3, once in a while 1. It all depends on what else you're dealing with in your life. If you are, managing a job, managing a family, whatever the case might be, our advisors are here to help you figure out how to balance school and everything else. And sometimes things come up, right? Challenges come up. We have a lot of experience with that in New Orleans. We all have experience with that as a result of having lived through the pandemic. Your academic advisor and your faculty can help you figure out how to, again, balance all the different things that you have going on and stay on track toward your certificate or your degree. We always say that we maintain high expectations of students, we maintain high academic standards, but we are incredibly flexible and we'll work with you about how you get that work done and dedicated to your success. Once a student joins the SoPA community, you have a tremendous amount of support to be successful. We want you to be successful, which means we want you to earn your degree or your certificate in a timely fashion. So that is student support and success. And feel free. I'm going to hand things over to my colleague Sheila Gold to talk about our admissions process and other aspects of the school, but feel free to put questions in the chat box at the bottom of the screen. And again, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Suri, and welcome again to everybody to the webinar. I'm going to walk us through our application process, tuition and fees, and application deadlines. Once again, let me reiterate that if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll be monitoring those and we can answer those at the end of the webinar. So a little bit about affordability at SoPA. So we are priced per credit hour. So for this current semester that we're in, which is spring 2023, just started this week, we are priced at $1,158 per credit hour, and each class is 3 credit hours. We do have on our website, if you have not visited our website, we actually have a tuition calculator. So if you want to go on there and sort of play around with how much would it cost to take 1 class a semester, 2 classes a semester, some of you might be eligible for our 20% tuition discounts. You can add that into the tuition calculator, and it's a very helpful tool as you start to imagine how you can afford going towards your certificate or a full master's degree. We also offer several types of aid for our students. Most of our students have some sort of aid that helps them afford their certificate or degree at Tulane. We offer federal grants and loans. We are very proudly a member of the Yellow Ribbon program for those of you who are eligible. And we offer several 20% discounts for certain categories of applicants: active duty military and veterans, active and retired safety personnel. If you have a degree from a minority serving institution like an HBCU or a Hispanic serving institution, we offer a 20% discount. And if you were a member of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, we also offer a 20% discount. An additional way that you can save time and money towards your degree is by opting into the credit for prior learning option, where you can get up to 6 hours or 2 classes towards your degree. And Suri spoke about that last slide. And we can certainly tell you more about that if you have questions. We actually have a webinar specifically for the credit for prior learning, if you're interested and think that you're eligible for that also. Next slide, please. We make our application process as straightforward as possible. However, there are always questions that pop up along the way. Please do not be shy to ask questions. We enjoy hearing from applicants. We want to help you through the application process. And actually, one of the things we feel like is a differentiator about SoPA and other schools is that we're a small enough school that we get to know our students, create relationships, and we actually philosophically feel like the application process is the first step in creating relationships with our students. So please reach out. With that said, I'm going to walk you through the steps, and hopefully it will be straightforward. Our application is an online application. It lives on our website. It's sopa.tulane.edu. That address is at the bottom of the screen, and you'll see a button at the top that says apply. Just click on that and it will open you up to our application portal. Most are applying for graduate degrees or certificates. So when you go into the application portal, please pick the graduate application option. However, for those of you who are applying for PBCs at post-baccalaureate certificates, such as our paralegal program, you will actually need to pick the undergrad. That sounds a little counterintuitive, which is why I'm making a point of explaining that. A post-baccalaureate certificate, while you need a undergraduate degree, is actually undergraduate level work. So that application process lies in our undergraduate application. If you have questions or if you forget, please email me. I'm very happy to answer that question. Several other items you will need for your application. We do require an application fee. For the graduate application, it's $50. However, we are capturing attendance at this and we will automatically waive that fee for you as a thank you for attending this webinar. If you have already paid your fee and submitted your application and are now attending our webinar, please email me and I can refund your fee. I'd be very happy to do that. We do require for all of our applications a current government ID. For most people, that is a picture of your driver's license or a passport. You can just use your phone, take a picture, and upload that picture to the application. Need transcripts from any school from which you've received college credit. So that usually is the part of the application, is getting those sent to us. You can send those via US Postal Service or electronically. We encourage electronic transcripts. They get to us more quickly and they don't get lost in the mail. However, not all schools offer that option, so we will accept them either way. And then many of our graduate applications will require written statements and possibly a resume. For the written statements, we encourage students to really take those written statements very seriously. They serve two purposes. One purpose is we want to see the quality of your writing. There's a lot of writing in our programs. We want to see how well you can write and put together your thoughts on paper. And then also the actual content of your answers. The questions that are being asked are very intentional, and the faculty are very interested in what it is that you have to say when answering those written portions. The other thing that I like to tell people, which most people are very interested in hearing, is that we do not require the GRE for our graduate applications. We do not feel like a valid indicator of success in our programs, and so we do not require those. So some lines that you all may be interested in knowing. We just started our spring semester, so that deadline just passed. Our next application term is for summer. The application deadline is May 1, and then the fall start application is also open. That application deadline is August 1. And if you're thinking a full calendar year in advance, January 1 is our deadline for spring 2024. We do have what are called early enrollment scholarships. This is a way to get your applications in early. If you apply, get accepted, and register for classes by the early enrollment dates, you will receive a $500 scholarship that gets applied to your first semester of tuition. So for summer, if you and register for classes by April 25th, you will receive that scholarship. For fall, if you apply and register for classes by 1, you will receive the scholarship. And a year from now, if you apply and register for classes by December 1, you will receive that scholarship. So I encourage everyone to go ahead and do that. There's no downside. It takes a little bit earlier planning on your part, but it gives you time to register for classes, have time to meet with your advisors, and get your financial aid paperwork in. And then we can also offer you a little financial assistance, which will hopefully make your first semester a little bit easier.
There was a question from Grayson about transcripts, Sheila.
Okay, let me pull up, but do we need official transcripts? You can apply with unofficial transcripts, but we do need official transcripts in order for you to register for classes. So we really encourage, especially at the graduate level, getting your official transcripts into us. So, you know, it just makes registration process easier. But yes, you can use official transcripts. You will be accepted on a conditional basis, and you will not be able to register until we receive the official transcripts.
Well, so thanks so much for joining us today. Are there any other questions folks want to put in the chat? You can see that you have Sheila's contact information. You're also going to get an email from Sheila after this session so that you have her contact information. And again, it will have a recorded version of this webinar in case you want to watch it again. And, just to reiterate, we're excited to welcome you to the Tulane SoPA community. We're excited to get to know you as part of the admissions process. And, we're here to support you the whole way through. The application fee will be waived automatically. So you don't need a code or a voucher to do it. And like Sheila said, if you have a question about it, or if it looks like it wasn't waived or you already actually paid it, just send her an email and she'll reverse the charge, but it's something that we do for you automatically. And again, happy 2023. Congratulations on thinking about going back to school. We hope you do it at SoPA, and we look forward to getting to know you. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. All right. And Bo, the Masters of Sports Studies is the graduate application. And you'll see that on our website when you go to apply. So it is a graduate application for admission to SoPA. Great. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. We will see you soon.